Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today I want to talk a little bit about the Web Warriors team that's coming out. We just got a blog today I'm taking a look at with Ghost Spider and then also Scarlet Spider. And what I will just say is we can look at this team. We've also had I did my initial impressions of Spider Gwen or whatever they call it. And I had already done that as well. And I guess what I would just say is we now have a sense of the full team because we have the Spider-Man, OG Spider-Man and Miles are the last two members. And I guess what I would just say about this team as a starting point is it first of all, it's unquestionably a raid team. Okay, you could see the raid specific bonuses here, particularly on Ghost Spider, for example. We know Web Warrior allies get 25% damage. Scarlet Spider here, and that was the one we already knew about. In Scarlet Spider, Web Warrior allies in raids get 50% crit damage, and in raids, always applying evade to two random Web Warrior allies that do not have evade. So just tons of damage mitigation there. I mean, this evade is a mechanic that is just super in terms of defense, right? It's like blind is how effective blind can be, right? Because blind is a is a debuff that just can make the enemy miss all the time, right? It mitigates 100% of damage. Evade can do the same thing, right? You just, no matter how tough the hit is, unless it's unavoidable or something like that, you're gonna just evade everything. Sometimes there's a character that can punish that, like an Elsa, but generally speaking, that's a very effective way to avoid damage. So having evade, constantly being applied on his turn to two others, very powerful. Then with here you could see with Spider Punk here, ultimate in raids, applying trauma for 2 turns to all enemies. This is a team that's going to do a lot with debuffs. You're going to have spreading of debuffs, extending of debuffs. It's going to be a team that is clearly, and here you go, 30% crit chance, very clearly a raid team. And I think it's fair to say, just fair to assume, I think we can all make the assumption that this team's going to be better than Symbiotes. I think everyone assumes that. I am going to come out with the with the devs kits and stats and everything next week, early next week. But in the meantime, what I will just say is it's obvious to me that you don't have to be a genius. You don't need to know any specific, special, hidden secrets to know that this team is designed to be better than Symbiotes. In addition, we know something else about this patch. We know Magic's coming, and so there's like kind of a boost that's coming to the Uncanny team. We also know that there is at least one other new character, right? In other words, there's the devs announced that there was going to be 5 new characters in this patch. That was not only was that teased in I think on their social media, Twitter or something like that, but it was also said in game that very soon we're going to have a new update, and I'm just going to show it right here. It says 5 new playable characters. 5 new playable characters. So we know that 3 of them are Web Warriors. We know that one of them is Magic, and we don't know what the other one's going to be. There could be a whole other team. There could be something that upgrades a team in the game. We don't know. And I guess what I want to say, and this is why I wanted to make this video, is I think that this patch in particular, you're going to have to pay very careful attention to what makes sense for your account to upgrade. In other words, I think a lot of folks are going to be getting the Web Warriors characters, and I think that's a good thing to collect those shards. But do you build those characters right now if you already have workable symbiotes? I mean, I think a lot of people, have, symbiotes that probably they're not exactly look like mine, okay, but they're like super built up, right? Because you've got to complete the Doom raids, and this team works really well in Doom 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, and this team does fine for me in Doom 2.3. Now, they tend to time out sometimes, right? I mean, you have to really be on top of things to make sure they don't time out unless they're a really huge team. But for the most part, people aren't in a situation who are already raiding Doom raids where they need a new team. However, there are, of course, newer players that have to make a choice between symbiotes and web warriors. If they haven't invested in this team, then that's an easier choice, right? What about, uncanny? Well, I will just say something to you. Unless that last character is an uncanny, what we have here is a team that's going to be, let's say, Phoenix, Colossus, Cyclops, Storm, and Magic. How good is the team going to be? What is it going to be useful for? I mean, we still haven't figured that out yet. And it really remains to be seen whether this is worth pouring gear into. Because for some of you, a lot of you, including me, right? I don't have all those characters built. I have 7 Red Star Storm here in purple gear. I got Cyclops at G13, which for my roster, for my level, is low. May not be for yours. But the point is just that, here's a whole other team to sink gear into. And by the way, to build Web Warriors, you have to build 5 characters, okay? And here, to get this team to work, you need to have these specific characters built up. So if you ignored Storm or ignored Cyclops, even though you have other uncanny, that's the team's not going to work with Magic unless you have those. And we don't know about this last character. All I'm saying is what I see coming up from my perspective is a gear crunch. Now, some of it is going to be a unique crunch for a lot of you, okay? Because, for example, the devs announced today, and they told the envoys, they said we could spread the word, that 2 of the new Web Warriors are superior Oz formula. So let me just tell you right now, superior Oz formula. Oz formula is already the unique for Spider-Man. It's already the unique for Miles. It's going to be the unique for Scarlet Spider and Spider-Punk. And then on top of that, you're going to need alien spores for Ghost Spider, they said. So realistically, very high demand uniques, and you need 4 of the same unique to even get up Web Warriors. Magic, by the way, Superior Arcane Magic, which I think is the book that they use for Maw. But the point I'm just that Maw uses. But the point I'm just trying to make is, I don't think this is a patch where like everyone can build everything, even if you're at a level in the game where you're at low levels of gear. I think this is a patch where everybody is going to need to pick and choose for the state of their roster what's best for them. So look for, once we have the full kits, look for tips from me once we have all the full kits and the stats of what you should build from my perspective, depending on the state of your account, what you need and that sort of thing. And I think that is really the important thing, to make sure that you are building only what you need, because if you're trying to do everything at once, you are definitely playing into Scopely's hand, because they want you to run out of gear. They want you to be forced to wail out or feel compelled to wail out. All right, guys, if you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel. And look, if you got a comment or question, put it below, or you go to my Discord. That's linked below as well. You can also go to my Twitch stream. That is linked below too.